Hi Aries, welcome to your December 2024 horoscope. Lols, I was out of this world when I started recording this and thought it was December already. So do ignore me. This is the November horoscope, not December. All right, enjoy. Let's start off by talking about the new moon on November 1st. For you, Aries, this new moon is happening in your 8th house in the sign of Scorpio. So you might be feeling quite invigorated and inspired when it comes to your intimate relationships. But in order to do that, you might need to dive deep and you might need to look at the skeletons you may have hidden in the closet. All of that being said, I have done a new moon horoscope video where I go through all of the rising signs and way more details about this new moon. So make sure you check that out right here. 2 days later, on November 3rd, we have a lot of tension in the sky. This is because Jupiter will end up opposing Venus and Mars will end up opposing Pluto. For you, Aries, these oppositions are affecting your 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 10th houses. For you, Aries, the way that this might manifest is that you might be quite busy with your career. You might be just caught up in the chaos, caught up with all the information coming at you, and that this might really feel like a fight for your survival. What could help is to remember to take a step back, go to the mountaintop in a sense, so that you're able to remove yourself a bit, reflect on the situation, make up your mind, make up your own ideas on what's happening, and then come down from the mountaintop to be able to handle the situation. Right away on the day after, on November 4th, we have 2 more things happening up in the sky. This is the Sun trining Saturn, as well as Mars entering the sign of Leo. Mars will enter your 5th house, Aries, so you might feel especially energetic when you work on your hobbies, when you're expressing yourself, maybe when you are doing creative things, or just hanging out with people that bring you into the present moment. And it's quite interesting that on the day that Mars enters your 5th house, you also have this trine between the Sun and Saturn happening in these more internal houses in the 8th and 12th house. I see this for you, Aries, as almost a day where you realize that the hard work you have been doing on your own inner world, on your thoughts, on your beliefs, on your ideas or beliefs that have been holding you back, maybe the spiritual work that you have been doing alone behind the scenes, is finally allowing you to be able to have fun, to be able to enjoy the present moment. So after all of this movement, all of this action, we have a couple of more calm days, astrology-wise. And then on November 11th, we have Venus entering the sign of Capricorn. For you, Aries, this is your 10th house. So from the 11th onwards, you might especially feel like you might want to beautify your workspace. You might want to even beautify the way you show up in your career, perhaps by doing your hair or your clothes, or just showing up in a more grounded and a more relationship-oriented manner, in a manner where you focus a lot more on keeping the peace with others, keeping the harmony there, and trying to see if you can add some more beauty, especially in your career. Soon after, on November 15th, we have a full moon in the sign of Taurus, which for you, Aries, is your 2nd house. This is quite a jam-packed full moon because besides the full moon, we also have Uranus conjuncting the moon. We have Venus squaring the north and the south node. And we have Saturn, who's like right on the verge of going direct. So let's unpack this full moon. The moon and Uranus are in your second house of finances and self-esteem. So on this full moon, there might be a sort of consequence coming about, a financial consequence that is a result of previous actions that you have taken. It's almost this idea of you have started a side hustle, and on this day, you're able to reap the consequences of that. You see the fruits of your labor come through. Keep in mind the moon is conjunct Uranus. So the consequences, reaping the fruits of your labor, might come unexpectedly and they might take you by surprise. We do have Saturn and the North and South node involved in this full moon. So whatever is happening with your finances and with your self-esteem might especially be as a result of the hard work that you have been putting in, working on your inner world, working on your spirituality, on your belief system. And don't be afraid of it. I do see, because the North and the South node are involved in this full moon, it does show that whatever is happening is also in the right direction for your soul's evolution. But all of that being said, I'm going to do a full moon horoscope closer to the full moon. And I also do full moon meditations. So if you're curious to learn more about it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you catch that video when it comes out. A couple of days later, on the 19th of November, we have Pluto entering Aquarius. And if you've been watching me along for the last 1-2 years, you would have heard me say that a couple of times, because Pluto honestly has been dancing back and forth from Capricorn to Aquarius, back to Capricorn, back to Aquarius, back to Capricorn for like a while now. But this is the last time. Pluto is officially done with Capricorn. From now on, it's only Aquarius for about 20 years. For you, Aries, Pluto is entering your 11th house. Aquarius is the sign in your 11th house. So therefore, for the next 20 years, you are most likely trying to figure out the power that groups, belonging to a group, belonging to a community with the same ideals and same beliefs, the power, meaning that can add to your own life. All of that being said, I have also done an extensive Pluto in Aquarius live, where I go through all of the zodiac signs, talking about what they can expect. So I'll link that video for you right here as well. Closely after, on November 21st, the sun ends up entering a new sign, which is Sagittarius, and it ends up sextiling Pluto. So since Pluto is in your 11th house, that means that the sun will be entering your 9th house. And this is actually a really nice way for you, Aries, a really nice astrological occasion for you to use that time going to the mountaintop, to remove yourself from the situation, to contemplate, form your beliefs before you take a step forward. This is a really wonderful way to kick off the Pluto and Aquarius transit. It's almost as if, with the sun coming into your 9th house for the next month, it's the perfect opportunity for you to maybe take an inventory of what are the groups that you belong to? What are the communities that you belong to? What does friendship mean to you? How can you make that more meaningful and more purposeful? And the sun in your 9th house is really going to help you be able to take those steps to reflect, help you to be able to remove yourself from the craziness of everyday life and take a moment for reflection and contemplation. It is the 9th house after all as well, so maybe you want to take some classes to learn about groups or communities. Maybe you want to travel and see how other cultures, how they exist in communities together. That might really inspire you for the next 20 years. we wrap up the month with a grand trine between Mars, the North Node, and the Sun. And even though this grand trine is not going to be really exact on a specific day, the dance between Mars, the North Node, and the Sun, it sort of happens over 5 days. First, we have Mars and the North Node trining, then the Sun comes in. So they do miss each other by a couple of days, but overall, that week from the 22nd to the 27th, you can see that as the sort of synergy in the fire signs between Mars, the North Node, and the Sun. And this is honestly a lovely way to close off the month for you, Aries. The Grand Trine is happening in your 5th, 1st, and 9th house, which means you're probably going to be feeling quite inspired, sort of on fire, and feeling like you are living life with a purpose. So overall, Aries, I think December should be a fairly easygoing month compared to everything we've gone through this year. Keep in mind that for you, it's important to take some time to remove yourself from the chaos and to reflect on your own before taking actions. And then, of course, you have all of that beautiful energy in your 5th house. So do also try to enjoy the present moment, have some fun, and maybe even do something creative. Thanks for joining me, Aries. I hope this horoscope helps you for the month ahead. And again, I have a full moon horoscope coming right up for the November full moon. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss this one. Thanks, Aries, and I hope to see you again soon.